Hello बच्चों, the question is which one of the following is not a method of in situ conservation of biodiversity? So biodiversity can be conserved in two ways. First is in situ conservation and the next method is ex situ conservation. In situ conservation is also known as on-site conservation, while ex situ conservation is called off-site conservation. In situ conservation, the organisms are protected in their natural habitat. For example, if a tiger is living in a forest and if we want to preserve or conserve the tiger, then we conserve it in the forest only. So that it means the tiger is protected in its natural home. So this is a method of in situ conservation. So organism, if they are protected in their natural habitat, so this method of conservation is known as in situ conservation. While in ex situ conservation, the organism is preserved or conserved outside its natural habitat. For example, if the tiger that we want to conserve, if we conserve it in a zoo, means it outside the jungle, so it is a method of ex situ conservation. Now there are four options. We have to find out the option which is not included in situ conservation. So first it's sacred groves. So sacred groves are the forest patches around the place of worship. Suppose there is a temple and there is a forest around the temple, so that forest is maintained in high esteem by the tribal people. They do not allow any kind of harm to those plants and animals living in the forest. So these are the forest patches around the place of worship. Now these forests are conserved by the tribal people who maintain these in a high esteem. So here the organisms are kept protected in their natural home. So this is a method of in situ conservation. So this will not be our answer. Now the biosphere reserve. So these are the protected areas where both flora and fauna are preserved and with some human activities, means some human activities are also allowed in biosphere reserves. So here the organisms are protected in their natural habitat. So this is also a method of in situ conservation. Now wildlife sanctuary. So these are the places with or without a lake where the migratory animals take refuge. So here these are protected. Suppose there is a forest and here in this forest there is a lake, and in this lake some birds take refuge. So this lake is protected. So this is an example of wildlife sanctuary. So here the organisms are protected in their home without taking them outside their homes. So this is also a method of in situ conservation. Now the next is botanical garden. So this is not an example of in situ conservation. So this is our right answer. So option D is the right answer. Now let's see what are botanical gardens. So botanical gardens are the places where plants are grown. So plants which are facing the threat of extinction, so they are grown in these garden. So these plants are grown outside their home in a garden which is known as botanical garden. Now these plants are grown there for the research purpose or for the taxonomic purpose. So here the plants are grown, and also these plants can be means at the verge of extinction, so they are protected in these natural gardens. So botanical gardens are the example of ex situ or off-site conservation. So here the right answer of this question is option D. I hope it is clear. All the best.